An earthquake with a magnitude of 9.5, the largest ever recorded, struck Chile in 1960, leaving over 5,000 people dead and causing widespread devastation. This chilling event is a stark reminder of the raw power that lies within the very earth we inhabit. But what makes some regions more prone to such destructive force than others? The answer lies beneath our feet, in the constant yet often unnoticed dance of tectonic plates. Our planet's crust is not a single solid shell, but a jigsaw puzzle of massive slabs known as tectonic plates. These plates are ceaselessly moving, albeit at a pace slower than a snail's crawl, driven by the heat currents in the Earth's mantle. It's at the boundaries of these tectonic plates, where they rub against, pull apart, or collide with each other, that seismic activity is most pronounced. Among these boundaries, subduction zones are particularly noteworthy. In these areas, one tectonic plate is forced under another, diving into the Earth's mantle. This process, while slow and steady, builds up immense pressure over time. And when this pressure is finally released, the resulting earthquake can be devastating, as the people of Chile experienced in 1960. But Chile isn't the only region sitting atop a subduction zone. Japan, too, is a prime example, with its frequent seismic activity a testament to the relentless movement of the Pacific Plate beneath the Eurasian Plate. However, while these regions have learned to live with the reality of earthquakes, there are places around the world that remain largely oblivious to the potential danger lurking beneath. Many of us, for instance, might not realize that vast swaths of North America are at risk, sitting atop the volatile meeting point of the Pacific and North American plates. The power of earthquakes is undeniable, and their potential for devastation is immense, especially in regions susceptible to their wrath. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of our planet, it becomes clear that understanding and respecting these powerful forces is not just a scientific interest, but a fundamental necessity for our survival. Beneath our feet, the Earth is constantly moving. These movements are not random, but the result of tectonic plates shifting and interacting. Our planet's crust is a vast jigsaw puzzle, comprised of massive slabs known as tectonic plates. These plates, each a colossal expanse of rock, float atop the Earth's semi-fluid mantle. In an eternal slow-paced dance, they glide, jostle, and grind against one another. This movement, though invisible to our eyes, shapes the world we live in, crafting mountains, carving out valleys, and even stirring the oceans. But just as a dance can be graceful or clumsy, the movements of these plates can be benign or destructive. Three types of boundaries mark their interactions: divergent, convergent, and transform. At divergent boundaries, plates drift apart, creating gaps where molten rock wells up, cooling to form new crust. This is a process of creation, but not without its perils, as volcanic activity here can be violent. Despite the potential for catastrophe, the threat of earthquakes often goes unnoticed or is underestimated. Our world, it seems, is more concerned with the immediate, with the tangible, with the visible. Yet, beneath our feet, the Earth is always moving, always shifting, and this silent threat remains largely ignored. Consider North America, a region known for its bustling cities, stunning landscapes, and technological advancements. Yet beneath this vibrant surface lies a ticking time bomb, a potential for devastation that remains largely unspoken. The tectonic plates, those massive sections of the Earth's crust, are constantly shifting and grinding against each other. This movement is not benign, and when the tension releases, the result can be a catastrophic earthquake. So why is there such a lack of awareness? Why does the discussion about this potential future catastrophe remain so muted? The reasons are multifaceted, and they range from media conditioning to cultural isolation. The media often focuses on immediate threats, those that can be seen and felt right now. Earthquakes, with their unpredictable timing and hidden processes, don't fit neatly into this narrative. Cultural isolation also plays a role. Regions that have not experienced significant seismic activity may feel immune to the threat, their inhabitants lulled into a false sense of security. This is particularly true in areas where the local culture does not include a historical memory of devastating earthquakes. The result of this neglect is a population unprepared for the potential devastation an earthquake can bring. Infrastructure may not be built to withstand a major quake, emergency services may not be adequately prepared, and individuals may not know how to protect themselves when the ground begins to shake. The silence around this impending threat is deafening, and it's time we break it. The Earth is not a static entity, but a dynamic and ever-changing planet. It's time we acknowledge the silent threat beneath our feet, and take the necessary steps to mitigate the potential catastrophe that lies in wait. History is replete with tales of tsunamis wreaking havoc on the northwestern Pacific coast. The chronicles of time reveal the catastrophic power of these oceanic giants, especially when they join forces with their terrestrial counterparts, earthquakes. Delving into the annals of history, we find evidence of tsunamis reshaping landscapes and altering the course of human societies. The devastating tsunami that followed the Great Chilean earthquake of 1960, for instance, left an indelible mark on the world's consciousness. It not only devastated the Chilean coast, but also traveled across the Pacific, causing damage as far away as Hawaii, Japan, and the Philippines. Even further back, the Jogan tsunami of 861 in Japan underscores the long-standing relationship between tsunamis and seismic activity. The tsunami, triggered by an earthquake, obliterated the then capital city of Nara, ushering in a new era of disaster preparedness in the country. Over time, the perception of local tsunamis has evolved significantly. Once considered rare anomalies, they are now recognized as recurrent threats in certain regions. This shift in understanding is largely due to advances in seismology and the painful lessons of history. However, despite this increased awareness, the danger posed by tsunamis in conjunction with earthquakes is often overlooked or underestimated. This is particularly true in regions like North America, where the potential for a catastrophic event is high, yet the collective consciousness remains largely oblivious. The Cascadia subduction zone, for example, which stretches from Northern California to Vancouver Island, has been relatively quiet for centuries. But historical records and geological evidence suggest that it has produced massive earthquakes and tsunamis in the past. The last one, around 300 years ago, sent waves rushing across the Pacific, reaching as far as Japan. This historical perspective underscores the need for heightened vigilance and preparation. Dismissing the potential for disaster simply because it hasn't happened in recent memory is a dangerous game of roulette with Mother Nature. History serves as a stark reminder of the potential devastation that awaits us if we do not heed its lessons. Let us not ignore the whispers of the past, for they echo the warnings for our future. Knowledge is power, and with power comes the responsibility to act. We've journeyed through the silent yet powerful dance of tectonic plates, the hidden threats they harbor, and the historical perspective on the danger of tsunamis. We've unveiled the potential for devastating earthquakes in regions where these plates come into contact, particularly in subduction zones like Chile and Japan. Now the question is, what can we do with this knowledge? How can we turn it into power, into action? For starters, we can amplify awareness. This involves an open and honest dialogue about the risks and potential impacts of earthquakes. But awareness alone is not enough. We need to couple it with preparedness. Individuals, communities, and governments alike need to take steps to prepare for potential earthquakes. Moreover, we must challenge the factors contributing to the neglect of this problem. This includes breaking down media conditioning that often downplays such threats and addressing the cultural isolation of specific regions. Let's not forget the lessons from history. The northwestern Pacific coast has long been a target of tsunamis, and over time, the perception of local tsunamis has evolved. In conclusion, let's remember, the threat of earthquakes is real and imminent, but with increased awareness and preparedness, we can turn the tide and safeguard our future. Let's leverage our knowledge and transform it into power, into action, because at the end of the day, our future lies in our hands.